Hello everyone, it's Jessica here with another layout for Shimmerz, and today I am using some little Shimmerz paints and one of the Creameez as well to make a nice background. I was actually inspired by one of the weekly Scrap Squad lifts, so I'll pop that link down below because I can't remember exactly who it was that they were lifting that week or even what week it was, but I know the background had some snowflakes designed on there and I wanted to create a background with some mixed media and snowflakes on it. So what I did was I went ahead and prepped my paper with some clear gesso by Finabair, and I just loaded that all to the whole page, and then I just used my spatula to apply it and then waited for that to dry. And then here I'm bringing out a stencil that has my snowflakes on it, and I'm just taping it down with some pixie tape there on the top and bottom, and I'm using some matte opaque texture paste today. This is just by Ranger, and it just kind of dries clear or kind of like a whitish color, but it's really pretty whenever you use it with mixed media. So I just wanted this to have like a curved shape. I'm actually going to be adding photo here as well, so I wanted to leave a spot for that, and I'm just kind of curving around that design to kind of match what I thought I remembered the lift to look like. It's been a while since I've looked at it. I knew that it had snowflakes in the background, and I knew that that it had an envelope design with a star. So I'm going to kind of throw all these elements together on here. So the three that I ended up grabbing here are two in Shimmerz, which is called Spruce It Up and Green Olive, and then a Creameez in Sage It Isn't So. So I'm just using a large watercolor brush here. I already spritzed my paper with some water as well. So that's what that gesso is really for, is to hold up to that wet medium and it won't warp up your paper as much. And it also allows these products and these colors to blend together a little bit better than it would if you just tried to apply them on a regular piece of paper without the gesso. So I created a nice ombre effect using just some water and my paintbrush and those colors that you see there on my desk. And then I'm just dabbing up the larger pools on there. It's pretty dry at this point. I set it aside for a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit more splattering here now that it's dry, because I know that these splatters here, when you add it when it's already dry, it will make them pop a little bit more. When you add those splatters on when it's still wet, it just kind of creates a marbled effect and kind of blends together. So that's why I wanted to add my splatters after it was already dry to create another layer. I've got some 49 and Market supplies here from the evergreen season. These are the laser cuts. I'm just going to grab a few of those off here, and then one of these envelopes from the ephemera pack, and I'm going to use this envelope, and I cut a little star from my Cricut machine real quick to go on this layout as well to match the scrap lift that we're using for this particular week in Scrap Squad. I kind of used the inspiration lightly because I didn't even have it on my computer or anything or printed in front of me. So I'm just kind of going by memory on what I thought it looked like when I originally looked at it. And so it's all kind of just coming together in my own way here. I'm not sure if I'm following it exactly, but that's kind of where I like to draw my inspiration. I just kind of, if I'm in a slump like I am right now, because it's December and I've got my focus on so many different things right now, as I'm sure all of you do, I draw my inspiration from anywhere possible. Even logos or packaging or sometimes wrapping paper actually inspires my designs as well. So I'll see something just kind of in passing and think, oh, that would look great on a layout. So that's kind of what happened here too. I ended up seeing a post or something at some point on this particular lift, and I am drawing inspiration from it, but very loosely. So I've just added my envelope here. As you saw, I kind of taped down all my layers using some multiple tapes, because those envelopes, I haven't had great luck with them actually sticking onto my designs real flat. They tend to want to pop up, which is okay if you're tucking a bunch of layers into them. It'll make it look a little bit more realistic. But for this particular design, it's actually going into my December daily album, so I don't want this to be super thick. So I taped them down using some Easy Tear tape by Thermoweb, which is a super sticky tape. And then I actually double reinforced by using just some Scotch tape to tape down the ends on the other side as well. I've got a little border piece here that I cut from a border die by Hey Little Magpie. I'm just going to tuck that on the side of my photo there, and then that's going to add another little layer. I've tucked a film strip in the back and one of those laser cut designs. I've got my star there, which I distressed the edges of just using my fingernails. I've grabbed a little frame from the ephemera pack from this Evergreen Season collection as well. I was going to use these little bingo cards because I think they're just super adorable. I'm not sure if I ended up using those or not. I can't remember offhand, but I know I do use this tag. I'm going to tuck that in here somewhere. Just basically want to create a whole bunch of layers to make it look like all of these items are just stuffed into that envelope. And I've got this cute photo of my baby girl here when she was playing with our Christmas tree ornaments last year. So I made it a point this year not to stress myself out by working with my December daily album. It does tend to stress me out a bit if I work with the current year. So what I did was I'm using all of my leftover photos that haven't been scrapped yet, and I am putting all of those into my December daily album from last year's photos. So it's actually proven to be a lot less stressful, and I'm really having fun playing with these photos where I'm not stressed that I have to get this done in a certain amount of time. And it's just a lot of fun playing with all of these photos and arranging them on the days. I did go through and write down a list of all of my different photos that I want to use for each day, so I have that very well organized and I know what day is what, and it's kept me on track really well. So my mixed media background at this point is really, really dry. It's not going anywhere, so I don't have to worry about it smudging at this point or anything like that. But I do have to worry about reinforcing things when I'm gluing things down to it. So when you work with mixed media, you want to make sure that you're adhering all of your items down on your mixed media very well, because sometimes when you have that mixed media on there, especially with texture paste, things don't want to stick just like you want them to. So I am going to reinforce things that I stick down with a couple different adhesives. So you'll see me do that here in a minute. I'm making my numbers here. This is day 21 in my album, so I am making my 21 numbers here. I'm just using a stamp set by Tim Holtz called Paint by Numbers, and I am just simply stamping this one with some bundled sage distress oxide and cutting them out. A lot of the other numbers in my recent pages of this book are heat embossed, so they're kind of a fluffy texture, which I absolutely love. But since I had so much other mixed media going on in this one, I just decided to just use that simple stamping technique and just stamp them and then cut them out. So super easy and quick on this one. This background came together very, very fast. So if you want a really cool watercolor effect, this is a great way to achieve that and just do it quickly. Now, when I was going to adhere my star, I actually found out that I liked the other side and the color on it better than the first side that I was originally going to use. So I kind of love when that turns out that way, because it's like a happy little accident. And it just turns out perfect. So I'm just gluing down all of my layers at this point. I'm alternating between my tape gun and then some of these pieces, like that larger green one in the back, I ended up using my tape gun and some Nuvo Deluxe adhesive as well, which is what this one is here. That way I could make sure that between both of those adhesives being applied directly on that mixed media, I knew that it was going to stay there over time and it wasn't going to go anywhere. I've got this cute little bow from the laser cuts that I thought would just look adorable on top of my numbers. So I'm going to use that, and then I'm going to add a little banner down here as well, because I thought I remembered the lift having some kind of label or something on her envelope. So I'm going to put that down there, and then I've also die cut these cute little snowflakes from that Spellbinders die set that I just showed you. So I just ran them through my Big Shot a couple times to cut out some of those various snowflakes in just some textured white cardstock. I did have to run them back and forth in my machine a few times. I'm not sure if these ones aren't, they kind of seem like the dies themselves weren't as sharp, or like the cutting blades on them aren't as thick as normal dies for some reason. I don't have a ton of Spellbinders ones, but I can say that my other Spellbinders dies don't seem to be this way. But I think between the combination of me using textured white cardstock and the snowflake dies being so intricate, I had to run them back and forth in my Big Shot machine about 4 times in order to get a good cut on those. So I'm just gluing some of those down to my layout here with some of that Deluxe Nouveau adhesive, and then I'm going to pop up this cute little bow with some 3D foam squares. So again, just gluing down the last little bits. I don't think I'm going to add a ton to this. I'm going to grab some embroidery floss or some ribbon. I think I ended up grabbing some seamstress ribbon just to add to that tag. Yep, here it is. This is some ribbon that I got from Amazon. I love it because it's super crinkly and it's really, really fun. I think it's called like seam binding or something like that. But I love it. I'll see if I can grab a link for you guys and link it down below if I can find it. Baby girl is down here at the bottom right, popping in to play with my paintbrushes. As usual, she loves to play with my stuff, and she really loves it when I'm doing this mixed media stuff. She likes to get into the little pots of color and switch the lids so I don't know, and then I have to switch them back and clean them up. But you know what? We love her, and she keeps everything interesting for me for sure. She really likes this little ornament on that laser cut sheet. So here's what the finished design looks like, and that's kind of a little close-up. Those are the products that I've used, and then here's what it looks like in my binder itself. I used a 6x8 snap binder. So there's a close-up on the mixed media, and you can use my code or my name, Jessica, in the note section of your order for a free gift if you place an order. So thank you guys for watching, and thanks for being here. Have a great day. Bye-bye.